We welcome you back inside the Doghouse for another edition of What Did Our Bloodhounds Do in the Summer of 2023? I'm Joey Jarzynka, our digital media coordinator for the John Jay Athletics Department. We are joined by women's soccer's freshman Sofia Astarbi. Sofia, thank you so much for joining me here this afternoon. How are things on your side of the Big
They're,
Apple?
they're great. How are you?
Not too bad. Thank you very much for asking. So, of course, for those folks that are just joining us for the first time, we continue our coverage as well as our whip around, if you will, of our Bloodhounds and what they've done throughout the summer of 2023. And for Sophia, she went to Cape Town, Africa in July. And for those that did see the first episode that featured Deanna Sanuti, the senior women's administrator. She was also one that went to Africa too. So out of a few episodes, Sophia, we now have two Bloodhounds that have made their way to the African continent. What an amazing feat there. And for you to do it at such an early age, talk about what that meant for you and some of the things that you were able to accomplish while out there.
I absolutely loved it. It was rooted around me and my dad. He just turned 50, so that was his birthday present, and it was my high school graduation present. Just to be able to see my favorite animal, which is an elephant, in the wild was the most amazing experience. I met the most amazing people that I still keep in touch with today. Um, the food itself, amazing, everything.
Well, you said that you got a chance to see your favorite animal, which is an elephant. And
Mhm.
something, too, that you told us off camera is that you cried happy tears. Is your favorite animal, I'm guessing, is an elephant, and you have just been really enamored by elephants? Has there been any, safari trips before going to Africa and seeing them, nearly face to face? Has there been any, zoo trips or anything like that you've gotten the chance to see these elephants?
Yeah, of course. I've been to zoos all over the country, San Diego, the National Zoo in DC, obviously the Bronx Zoo.
Yeah.
But nothing compares to like being up close and personal without a cage in your face. It was beautiful sights.
What is it like to ride an elephant? Because I don't know many people that I don't know if they'd ever do that or if they would ever have, or be brave enough to do that.
It definitely hurts the hips, I can tell you that. But they're so gentle if you treat them correctly. In the sanctuary I was at, they treat them like kings and queens over there. So they were just happy to have like someone ride them on the back, and then obviously you feed them after, and then they like give you a little happy sound and they wave at you. It was amazing.
You told us also that you had gone to see a wild cheetah hunt. Sophia, I have to ask you because a cheetah is one of the fastest animals on this planet, if not the fastest. If again, I think in that
It
range.
is, yeah.
That is very scary. And again, kudos to you for going to see it with no cages and seeing them in their natural habitat. How cool was it to see that? And was there a specific place that you went to go see them in their habitat?
We were in Kruger National Park, one of the off sites of it, so it wasn't exactly in Kruger, but it was younger female chasing down some impala, and impalas are also fast, but obviously the cheetah is way faster. It was just the truck couldn't keep up.
I was going to say again, if I'm not mistaken, they go roughly about like 35 miles an hour, 30, 45 miles an hour on their feet. It's really a wild thing. And, if I ever saw one out of a cage, I'd probably be on all fours and just cry. But and it would not be happy tears, Sophia, that I could tell you. Um, some of the food that you said that you never thought you would eat in your entire life. Talk about some of the things that you're able to eat.
Well, I'm definitely not a picky eater, but I don't eat fish. But I ate all the fish I could while I was there. I loved it all so much. I would say the meat, like the beef, is definitely more tender. It was amazing. I had kudu, which is a venison, um, and then obviously all other types of venison, but they won't label it because it's all considered game meat.
Right.
So, like in America, we say deer or whatever we're hunting. It's just game meat. So we don't know what we were eating. I had some croc. I had emu. It was just amazing.
Some of the other fish. I know you had brought up fish before you brought
Hmm.
up the venison and the meat. Was there any specifics to the fish? Any specific fish that you ate?
I wish I could tell you. I honestly don't remember. A lot of native fish, though. Obviously, like I'm not eating mahi mahi out in Africa, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say, listen, because again, every continent is different. You try something new,
Mhm.
and for you to be able to try again something very unknown, all power to you. That's really amazing stuff. You brought up in the beginning of our segment that you've met a whole bunch of amazing people, who you're still in touch with today. Some of those folks, I'm guessing they are native to Cape Town and
Yes.
nearby Johannesburg, I would guess, or anything along those lines. How do you keep up with them? What were the conversations like? Give us a little bit of background.
The people we keep in touch with, they speak English and Afrikaans. So Afrikaans is one of the 11 native languages in South Africa, but obviously we keep in touch through email and WhatsApp, Instagram, all over Instagram, English, obviously. But it was just like all they would teach us so much about their history and their culture, and they were able to relate to us on like such a personal level. One of our drivers for one of the safaris, Aiden, has become like one of our best friends. Him and his girlfriend Jade plan to come to New York City soon, so it's our turn to be the tour guides.
Oh, there you go. See, now that's pretty cool for you and your dad, and to be able to, to befriend some of these native South Africans. Really amazing stuff. So, just to continue on, Sophia, you got a chance to see some wild penguins, seals. You got a chance to hike the infamous Tabletop Mountain down there. Talk about those experiences for you to be able to see again these zoo animals that are not caged up.
Obviously, you hear a penguin and you think the cold, so
You
just
think of
seeing them in
Antarctica typically, right?
yeah, being in Africa when it was their winter, it was like 60 degrees, being able to see a penguin, like, in the wild was just sickening. I loved every second of it. They're really loud and obnoxious, and, like, they'll crawl under your cars if you're not careful because 'cause they're so friendly. I just
And
loved it.
yeah, and talk about Tabletop Mountain too. You're an athlete, must have loved the hike as well. Really must have been a breath of fresh air.
Definitely was not New York City Air. We took the like, wired cars to get up there. And after that, we're above cloud level. We went on like a 2-hour hike all around it. We had tea on top of the mountain with our tour guide, Stefan. It was just the views, the wildflowers. We saw frogs. It was the birds, everything.
So, of course, we'd like to end our conversation regarding women's soccer, but because of the season not starting just yet, we have to ask you about the World Cup stadium that you were able to capture and see in person. Talk about that experience for you as a soccer player as well.
It's actually a symbol of the hats that people in South Africa wear. So it's shaped after one of the circular hats. So being able to see such culture inside soccer as well is beautiful. All the light posts to this day are still soccer balls and not light bulbs, and it's very detailed. It's an amazing stadium. I wish I could have seen a game there.
Would have been a really cool experience. But again, to be able to head to the continent of Africa, just like what we had said to Deanna Sanuti, is that not many people get there in their lifetime. And for you, you were able to do it at such a young age. So, a really, really an amazing story. And of course, a belated happy birthday to your father, the big 5-0. And for you to be able to witness really just amazing nature is a sight to see, literally and figuratively. So that's an awesome story to hear, Sophia. Thank you for joining us here on another edition of Inside the Doghouse. Really appreciate you coming on, and good luck in your first collegiate soccer season. Should be a ton of fun to watch you.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to find all of your Bloodhound information and, of course, for Sofia Astarbi and her women's soccer program by logging on to www.johnjathletics.com for more details. For Sofia, I'm Joey Jarzynka. We'll see you next time.